Kaya ang galing-galing talaga pag natutunan mo yung tinuturo ni coach bago na i-apply mo. Bago yung patient lang, yung patient tsaka yung discipline.
Si coach kasi, he's not just a content creator. Talagang mentor siya. Pinaglalaanan niya ng oras lahat ng videos niya. Not for him, not to get subscribers, pero para matuto tayo, para maging profitable tayo kagaya niya. Sobrang amazing lang kasi konti lang yung taong gano'n na hindi madamot, na hindi niya sasalilinin kung paano siya mag-earn ng pera. Si coach kasi mas gusto niya pang i-share yung blessings niya.
Nag-decide ako i-PM po kayo, nag-enroll po ako sa inyo sa beginner class. Ginawa ko po talaga everyday, 3 to 4 videos na sa YouTube ang pinapanood ko. Tapos ninonote ko pa talaga lahat.
Magpahinga ka. Hindi tatakbo yung market, hindi mauubos yung trade setup na yan. Find that bread and butter setup. Vulnerability in trading is our most accurate measurement of trading quotient. You have yet to see your success. You have yet to see your millions. Andiyan dyan na. Are you going to give up today? Or are you going to use the word not yet?
Hi, I'm Sheila and I'm an OFW.
Visit us at www.globalmirandaminer.com. And all of us, let's get to see what we have soon in store. Our website is designed for you as a student to know what do we have to offer, what we discussed every day, and what are the things that we have in our courses. Let's try to look for all of our courses. We have Crypto Primer, Beginner Classes, Intermediate, Combo 1, Combo 2, Mentoring, Elite Package, and Corporate Booking. Let's try to click for the beginner class. Here you will see all of the details that you need to know bilang isang beginner student, the learning modules, requirements, etc. I look forward to seeing you and visiting our website for you to know our schedules and for you to become very, very profitable very soon. See you, Miranda. This is Coach Miranda Miner and welcome sa ating another very interesting na produkto in our global Miranda Miner community, and we're calling it our Miranda Miner Raccoon NFT. The first thing you need to do is just to open the website opensea.io/collection/Miranda Miner. Lalabas naman napakagandang mga raccoons na ito on different shapes and costumes. Yan, alright. And of course, pag inopen mo itong site na ito, makikita mo ang ating siyam na available na NFTs right at this point. We're actually creating 25 different copies of this particular raccoon. And of course, napakaganda. Actually, hindi pa namin nila-launch, pero nang bumiling dalawa ng design na ito. This is Coach Miranda Miner and welcome sa bago na naman nating promotion here in our channel. Yes, today we're gonna be partnering with Bybit, the next level trading, kung saan we're gonna be giving away Oculus Quest 2 in partnership with Bybit. There are actually 10 ways to earn. Just click on the Gleam.io link that's gonna be shared to you in any of our social media pages in Facebook, in Twitter, etc. And also register using our referral link in Miranda Miner link. And there you go. You actually have 10 ways to enter. Yan, napakaraming ways to enter. Register, download, upload your first Bybit trade, join Bybit Filipino Telegram, join Bybit FB community. Ang dami pang ibang ways to earn. Alright. Alam mo, I'm looking forward for you to get this na. Sumali ka na and there's already 44 entries, 17 days left, and looking forward for you to experience the next metaverse. Alam mo ba, in Oculus, pwede kang maraming mapuntahan kahit you're not physically there. And it looks like you're gonna be really there, no? Tapos, you could also actually do some exercise, di ba? Kasi parang you are on the imaginary world. Alright, so I'm looking forward to have you to get this very, very good-looking, very awesome Oculus up for grabs for you ASAP. So join ka na, Miranda, and looking forward for your entries today. Sali ka na. Thank you. Salamat.
Hi, Coach Miranda Minor. We talked a few times now before, but I didn't get to formally introduce myself pa. So I'm Good. I'm an airline pilot, and I'm Elite University graduate, beginner's class batch 21 and intermediate class batch 18. I'm also a former mentee of my high school classmate and barkada, si Mentor Luke. I want to take this opportunity lang to thank you, not only for teaching us a very safe and effective trading system, not only sa mga fundamental and technical analysis every night during live sessions, not only sa anatomy of fish and port creation ng intermediate class, but most importantly, I want to thank you both for teaching us good trading psychology na pwede rin i-apply in real life scenarios. Thank you always, Coach, for going the extra mile to help others, and sana huwag ka magsasawang tumulong sa ayun lang. I love you 3,000 Coach, and shout out ko na rin yung buong Miranda community. I love you 3,000x Miranda, and magmahalan lang tayo at maging possible.
Hi Miranda, magandang umaga sa'yo. In an effort to continue to improve our learning effectiveness in our elite university, we are continuously looking for many innovative ways to improve the learning retention of our traders and future traders. We have been getting a lot of requests from all of you to look for ways for you to be able to refresh your knowledge and quote-unquote sharpen your saw. It is on this business area and business requests that I've thought of coming up with a solution to be able to address the current needs of our student and our community. I would like to give you the good news that we're now going to officially offer a recorded copy of our university lectures, which will come with many assessments in between the modules. I'm very, very happy for this development because I'm sure this will help you learn the cryptocurrency system that I have been espousing in our university in your own dedicated time and space. It's going to be very helpful for you, so at least you can actually go back and forth with the recording up until you are able to master our system. Please make sure you don't forget that there are assessments in each of the courses or each of the modules. It's going to be very, very important for you for your learning progress based on how it's actually separated per module and the way I've actually put it from a progression standpoint. I hope, Miranda, that it's actually a very, very good news for you. And please don't forget to visit www.globalmirandaminor.com for more details and information. We're all doing this to make sure we attend to the growing needs of our community, and I appreciate your support in our growth. Maraming salamat, Miranda, for all of the things you've done and supported me along the way from last year up until today, at maraming salamat po. Thank you, Miranda. Okay, there you go. All right, so the chat room is running crazy. All right, anyways, good evening again to everyone. So, all right, Losa, it's a very, very special day. As I've said, we have a very special guest, Chief Operations Officer of Dexio Protocol, Greg Gould. I hope I said his name correctly. I would like to do this interview simply because, I am obviously we're all students of the market, right? And you guys all know me. Miranda Minor talks a lot about inflation, talks about this CPI 7% coming that came a couple of days ago in Thursday. Next week we're gonna be talking about interest rates because Fed is gonna be adjusting that, in preparation for the CPI overheating economy. I spoke a lot about 10 years minus 2 years treasury rates that could lead to recession. But let's just take a break for now on all of that and let's try to understand a little bit about a very, very exciting project, Dexio Protocol. And I'm sure, I would not do justice if it's gonna be me talking about the project. So why don't we discuss together with our guests today, our topic. And before that, let me just give a very quick appreciation to all of you guys with a very, very quick, a little bit commercial, then we will put him on board with us. All right, just stay tuned and I will be with you in a matter of seconds.
This program is brought to you by BingX, the world's fastest growing crypto app where you could find your next crypto gem and where trading is made easy.
Hey there, Greg. Everyone can hear you. Want to say hi to everyone?
Hello, everybody. And I just want to start out by saying thank you so much, Coach, for having me on the show. You started out by I think giving me a little bit more props than I deserve. But I'm really excited to be here. I've been following everything that you're doing there in the Philippines and just in general, especially educating people about a wide range of things, not just crypto, but understanding financial markets and kind of how to understand your place in the world. And I deeply respect that, and I'm grateful for people like you, and grateful for the opportunity to talk with you today and your whole community. So thank you.
Same here. And what a wonderful way to do your Saturday morning. I'm sure I'm getting your time from your family on a Saturday, but all good. By the way, I like the pictures at the background. They're nice pictures. Is that you, the baby boy there?
Yeah, actually, I guess I wasn't. Yeah, so we're in the living room of my house, and yeah, that's my father and me as a child, and my grandfather, his father next to him, and then my brother and my father in the picture next to that, and then my brother next to that. Yeah, so some family photos behind me. I guess I didn't think about those being there, but yeah.
All right, so before we start, because everyone is saying, let's go Dexi. Hello, everyone. Hello, Greg, Sir Greg, everything here. So let me teach you a Filipino. I'm not sure if Roxy taught you a little bit of Tagalog, but don't worry, it's not going to be a curse word, okay?
He's trying, for sure.
He's trying, okay.
I'm failing, but anyways, we'll try again.
Roxy, I know you're listening, so you got to keep me honest here and make sure that I'm honest with my interpretation. All right, so you say magandang gabi.
Magan, is that again?
Magandang gabi.
Magandang gabi.
Very good. So that means good evening. Okay.
Good evening.
Good evening. Yes, it's good evening in the Philippines. And when you say good morning, you say magandang umaga.
Magandang umaga.
Umaga. Very good. There you go. And Philippines is actually colonized by Spanish for 300 years, 3 centuries actually. So some of our words are also similar to Spanish, right? So when you say kamusta, it means how are you? No, it's in
Kamusta.
Spanish it's kamusta,
Yeah,
right?
like, ¿cómo estás?
Exactly.
Yeah, okay, all right, yeah.
Right. So whenever you greet, say magandang gabi, kamusta, it means good evening, how are you, right? There you go. You're a good student.
Well, so in full transparency, I think I'm probably there's like a running joke. What do you call somebody who speaks 3 languages? Trilingual. What do you call somebody who speaks 2 languages? Bilingual. What do you call somebody who speaks 1 language? An American. kind of fall into that. I took Spanish for many years, and I grew up out in California, and so I feel like my Spanish was pretty good, but like all perishable skills, it's sort of fallen by the wayside, and I feel like I'm not a good student of language a lot of times. Don's always trying to teach me Dutch, and it's just like really miserable to listen to me try. I appreciate everybody speaking English. I really do. I feel almost guilty that I don't have any other languages that I can speak well.
Kudos to the current generation today, because in the Philippines, in the early 90s, right? If you're in college, you're required to get 18 units in college in the University of Spanish, right? And after a few decades, it stopped already. So I remember we were even asked to do, Adios Patria Adorada, Rayon del Sol Querida, something like that, right? So it's quite interesting. I think language is dynamic, and good times, right? Speaking of being dynamic, so we'll have you here today. I'm very, very excited because we're going to be talking about this very interesting project, right? That's up and coming. I don't want to steal the thunder from you, and I'm sure you have a lot of things to say. So maybe, Greg, talk to us something about Dexio Protocol. What's up and coming, and tell us something about it.
Okay, so Dexio was and we often refer to the project in short and by saying Dexio, was actually started by Don Reika, who's my business partner and the chief executive officer of the company, in May of 2021, with the idea, and he had a prototype for a augmented reality application, and he had an idea that he wanted to launch a project and move this application forward. And for lack of a better term, a phrase that I don't particularly like, but anyways, it's a good way to understand what the application was initially designed to be and what it's sort of become. The Pokemon Go of crypto. So walk around, find augmented reality objects using your phone and collect those. The only difference being obviously that then those can be translated to digital assets, right? So that was how the whole project started. And I actually joined the project in June. And it's kind of a funny story how I ended up connecting with Don and Dexio. But so we started kind of working on a lot of ideas and developing the entire idea of what it was that we really wanted to do with all of this. And we determined that what we were really trying to accomplish was we wanted to bring more people into crypto, right? And Don already kind of realized this as the education kind of enticing part about the augmented reality application that we now call Dexi Hunter. Right. So what we kind of synthesized as a vision statement, and that is our vision is a world in which blockchain technology is mainstream and vastly more people are connected by it. That's a pretty big statement, right?
That's right.
It's a very big statement, but I think it's a statement that pretty much everyone who is authentically in the space, you and many other people that we know, we're all, I think, trying to kind of do that, right? We all realize that blockchain is the future, that the technology itself is, rapidly progressing, and that our access to that technology is through crypto. And so blockchain and crypto really are the future of record keeping and of communication and of so many other things, finance, DeFi, all these things, right? And so we started thinking about how do we find a niche in this space that enables us to participate in this process in a meaningful and healthy way. And so, the augmented reality application was definitely a very serious undertaking, and it's taken us a long time to get that to a place where we're ready to release it, and we're very, very close to releasing it. And I'll talk a little bit more about that, especially as it pertains to your community there in the Philippines and our wonderful Philippine manager, Roxy. But to sort of back up a little bit, one of the best ways for us to learn and to connect with one another is through games, right? How do we learn as children? In our grade school, we often learn through gaming. How do we connect with one another in even in adult life on team activities or on retreats? Typically, you play games, right?
Yeah.
So that's a great way to connect with people, and it's a great way to learn. And so we thought, well, let's build games that attract people to our project and attract people to the games themselves, build great games that people want to play, and have the blockchain component connected to that. And then build an entire ecosystem that enables us to bring people into crypto and give them everything that they could possibly need: a marketplace, a wallet, and then our very own blockchain network, so that we can partner with businesses and other projects to facilitate better relationships, through our ecosystem. So that was kind of, that's the quasi long version of kind of what happened and what we're doing. And we're on the precipice of releasing a huge number of products. So we released a beta version of one of our games, which is a PC only game called Dexi Nights, and we released our NFT marketplace, and we released a separate NFT marketplace for our games, like what we call our game emporium. And so we have some products out there. We have a wallet. We have some products out there that people can use and get to know that we're serious about making things. But we really kind of dialed back after we released Dexi Nights and thought, we need to really think about how we want to distinguish ourselves. Mm-hmm. And the way that we're doing that is through what I like to call a hybrid business model. And that's kind of works in two parts. So one of the things, and I'm sure you talk about this with your community, and I'm sure that these are conversations you have all the time, but there's two things that projects in crypto are often missing, right? Mm-hmm. The first thing that they're often missing is utility. Like, there's no point to the crypto.
Right.
So what's the purpose of it, right? So a crypto has to have utility. It has to function inside of an ecosystem and have use, right? Right. And the other thing that's often missing in a lot of projects is any kind of business model. Now, I'm a businessman, right? So my concern for most of my life has always been, okay, how do you make this work and how does this make money, right? And I look at a lot of crypto projects and I'm like, that's cool. How are you guys making money? And so what we decided was that in a very kind of important transition in our own understanding of what we were doing, we realized that, number one, we're creating games, and a huge number of quote unquote self-identified gamers are not entering the NFT gaming space because they're just not, right? And a huge number of NFT games are not sustainable because of the models that they have set up, right? Mm-hmm. They're kind of accidentally, I think, Ponzi schemes, right?
That's right.
So, and it's not intentional, and certainly some of the bigger NFT games are trying to adjust away from that. But anyways, that's kind of what has happened. And so we looked at that and we were like, we need to create revenue streams that are more traditional, more traditional gaming revenue streams, but also create games that can be played in a more traditional way. So we can get those traditional gamers to come into the space and be interested and attracted in what we're doing, and then try to present the crypto portion of it to them. So that was part of it. And the other part of it was, okay, we're creating a bunch of games and we have blockchain assets and we have non-blockchain assets. How do we connect all that stuff together? And we came to the conclusion that we wanted to build a super login system that was, I'm sorry, my cat is in the background crying at the back door. I apologize about that. But create a super login system that enabled people to have one place where they logged in that then connected them to our entire ecosystem.
So wherever a game, wherever Dex, is exchanged or what have you, they could just use one login to kind of simplify the experience.
That's exactly right. So sorry, my cat is like just Sweet's really upset back there. But so the only thing I want to sort of identify there, though, is we do actually kind of separate the wallet and the swap in terms of a login system, because we don't want, because we're very concerned about security, right? And so if somebody if God forbid somebody's able to hack into to our system in some way, they're not able to get to the wallet, they're not able to get to the swap. because we don't want people's digital assets actually being accessed in that way. If somebody hacks into our system, which is pretty unlikely, all they're going to get into is, the sort of the server side mechanics of what we have, and we can block them out and we can correct that. I can't fix somebody's wallet being hacked and all of the assets.
So just on that, Greg, sorry to interrupt you. So just on that, so you're saying that any wallet, third-party wallet, MetaMask of the world, etc., could connect to your system, sort of got it.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Okay,
Yeah.
understood.
Yeah, and that's the other component of this too, is we're not trying to be exclusive in that way, right? We want people to download the Dexi wallet. We want people to use Dexi wallet. We want people to enjoy that, and we want that to be the best product on the market.
Yeah.
But not everybody's going to want that. Not everybody's going to want to use that.
Sure.
And so I'm sure you're familiar with Wallet Connect.
Yeah,
It's a
of
very
course.
common feature, right? So people will be able to connect their MetaMask. They'll be able to connect their Trust Wallet. They'll be able to connect anything that they want to our gaming, ecosystem. Now, when it comes to the network that we're building, the Smart Dexio network, one thing I think but probably a lot of people don't know, we will be able to deploy that on MetaMask and on our own wallet. But Trust Wallet is its own kind of animal, and so we won't actually probably be able to deploy that on Trust Wallet until much further down the road when we're a much bigger project. But anyways, we are trying to create, the opportunity for whoever that wants to can connect to our ecosystem and not be prohibited from doing that because they don't have our wallet or they don't, And in addition to that, Coach, people can play our games and they don't have to have a wallet. They don't have to connect to the blockchain. They can play our games. They're definitely better off playing our games, connecting their wallet and having NFT assets.
Right.
But they can play our games and enjoy them without blockchain. And again, the reason for that is because we want to attract regular gamers who don't necessarily want to,
So
connect
they
to
have an
blockchain, but-
option to not have a wallet, but if and when they start earning, right? Like they have tokens, etc., then that's gonna be when they need the wallet, right, Greg?
Exactly right. So they're going to be able to earn an in-game currency that we call Dexi Cash, which is just like any kind of gaming currency meant to sort of buy assets inside of the game itself. But when it comes to the blockchain assets, they will need a wallet. And so, kind of for lack of a better term, we're sort of, we're not tricking people, but anyways, we're getting them to play the game, and then they're going to have the opportunity to collect these NFT assets, and they won't be able to put them anywhere,
Right.
Because they won't have a wallet. And so
Right.
the idea is, we're hoping that people go, okay, well, let me download this wallet and figure this part out.
No, I hear you. I hear you, right? Because again, there's Fortnites, there's Fortnites of the epic games of the world, right? We have all of that, and there's gonna be still folks who would not want to have anything to do about wallets. They just want to enjoy the game. So I still think there's gonna be folks who just want to enjoy the game per se, right? So
Well, and also people in places that blockchain is banned. We want them to be able to play the game. Well, crypto is banned, I should say, not blockchain. But or in the U.S., minors are not actually permitted to have crypto or wallets, and we want them to play the games too, right? And so we're creating a whole system, especially in the MMR portion of it, the matchmaking and the player versus player portion of it. We're creating a system where players who don't have a wallet and don't have NFT assets are not going to be paired against players that do, because they're just going to get creamed.
Right.
Because the NFT assets are going to be a lot more potent in the games.
Right.
And so, again, because we want people to connect to the blockchain and to download wallets and to get used to NFTs and to start collecting crypto and to join our revolution,
Right.
Not the Dexio revolution. I mean, the whole blockchain revolution. Because they need to, because it's happening, whether they want it to or not.
All of these things are going to be launched on April 4th, or is it going to be a segmented launch for you, Greg?
Yeah. So no, we're not going to launch everything all at once.
Okay.
And so that I put a poll in the chat, and one of the options was all of the above of a list of different things that we may be launching on April 4th. So now I've answered that. It's not all of the above, and it's not none of the above. I'm kind of playing with people about what we're going to do, and we're not going to announce it until the week of or the week beforehand what is coming out first. It is going to be staged out one after the other one. And so
because you have
on
Dexi Night, right? You have Dexi Night, the beta version in computer you have your NFT marketplace, and I'm sure you have a lot of things in store. So either or of that could be launched on the 4th.
Well, the things that might be launched on the 4th are the Dexi Wallet 2.0, so the new upgraded Dexi Wallet that has a browser, that there's a browser version of, so it's kind of like MetaMask, but better.
Right.
Dex Swap, which will actually be integrated into the mobile wallet,
Nice.
but you will be able to log into Dexi Swap separately through a browser, and in Swap, through different decentralized exchanges.
Right.
And so that's two things, and then of course, there's the full upgraded version of Dexi Nights, the with all the P2E functionality and all the player versus player functionality. We have another mobile game that is in beta to us. We're playing around with it, but it will be released for beta, for public beta, called Dexi Dragons, which is kind of a team of dragons and fight. Again, it's a play-to-earn game, and there'll be PvE competitions in it. We have a kind of a suite of games that we call Dexi Carnival, which is a bunch of different sort of mini games that you might find at a boardwalk or at an arcade. And then there's also, of course, the Dexi Hunter augmented reality 5-city beta, which does include Manila. So
yes.
we are.
I was hoping you say Manila. I would like to look for Dexi Dragons here.
you are going to be one of our beta testers. We're hoping.
I want to put somewhere in my building. Like, I want to find where the Dexi Dragon here is. Okay, I'll send you my address.
Well, so in effort to be fair, okay, the server randomly generates where any asset is located, and it's pinged to a longitude and latitude line. So we aren't. We can, but we are not going to.
No, why don't we do that? Let's have the community recommend, right? Hey guys, if you're listening right now, send me a chat. No, again, you have the COO in front of me. Tell me if you would like to have your house or your building be part of the location or geolocation where a potential Dexi Dragon could be found. I'm not kidding, guys. So I mean, Dexi Hunter, right? So send me a chat in the chat box right now. Again, you're in the development phase. Who knows, right?
This is some really severe manipulation, Coach. Like this, no, but actually, so I talked about Roxy earlier. We love Roxy; she is amazing, and she connected us with you. And she's such a enthusiastic and warm and genuine person. But anyhow, she is responsible for selecting the 50 people who will represent the initial beta, and we are going to drop $10,000 worth of assets on Manila.
Coach Miranda Minor, Roxy. Miranda Minor should be in the number 1 in the 50, okay?
Yeah. Miranda Minor is definitely going to be one of the. So we're dropping $10,000 worth of assets, and that will be a whole bunch of different stuff. So it's not just game assets like the Dexi Dragons, but there's NFTs from our Emporium, NFTs from our marketplace, NFTs from other marketplaces. We're also dropping crypto. So there'll be Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tron, Solana, Chainlink. I'm missing a few. And I'm definitely missing a few. BNB. And so we're going to be dropping those also, along with non-blockchain assets, like some of the gaming assets that are non-blockchain. And then, of course, Dexi Cash, which is the non-blockchain in-game currency. And then our own currencies, Dexi Gas, which is our blockchain in-game currency. And then Dexi, which is the native token of our ecosystem. So all of that stuff will be in there. People will be able to collect those things, and it's going to be really cool. It's going to be neat to see people doing that. Manila is one of the cities. Actually, Istanbul, Turkey, where we have a huge community of Turkish investors, is another city. London, England, Amsterdam, Netherlands, and then Columbus, Ohio, where I live. So all 5 of those cities will be part of that initial 5-city beta. Yes. And that's definitely happening in April, and that's all I will say about it.
No, I was just reflecting on this, right? Because I've also interviewed Solana Soul Chicks in my channel, a couple of developers, and it's quite interesting. You guys are going on the Pokemon Go quote-unquote model where people could probably look for a water-based dragon or stuff like that, right? So it's quite interesting, and I know there's a lot of good following of that game, especially on the first time it kind of was introduced. I remember it
It was
was
one.
it was crazy, right? And people were like, okay, you have them in with their cell phone trying to look for that Pokemon. So going there, right? So you said there's a Dexi Cash, there's a Dexi. So the native token, obviously, or currency is Dexi, but in the gaming functionality, you have Dexi Cash, correct? Within the gaming space.
There's two in-game currencies. So like I said, there's a non-blockchain side of this,
Right.
and there's a blockchain side of this, right? And so the non-blockchain side of it, the fuel that drives the economic engine of the non-blockchain side of that is something
Right.
we call Dexi Cash.
Okay.
And people will be collect that. They'll be able to purchase it through in-app purchases, purchase it online. And just like any in-game currency for any game that you would play, like Roblox or anything else, you then can spend that on game assets. In this case, non-blockchain game assets. And then we also have a crypto, another smart contract that we call Dexi Gas, which we released back in October, and that drives the blockchain. That's the fuel that drives the blockchain engine, the currency that drives the mechanisms of the blockchain side of what we're doing. So you'll need Dexi Gas in order to actually have those blockchain assets that you're collecting in the augmented reality and collecting through PvP and P2E in the games. You'll need Dexi Gas in order to collect those assets. So that's the utility of Dexi Gas. It's the economic engine that drives the entire blockchain economy inside of our games.
Okay.
Dexi Cash is the economic engine that drives the non-blockchain engine.
So, but can they interoperate? Like the Dexi Cash, and maybe it's a long-term development. They can obviously convert, if they kind of have a lot of Dexi Cash, they could convert into a Dexi currency or Dexi Gas.
No, they cannot. They cannot use Dexi Cash for anything other than non-blockchain interaction inside of our game. So the reason why we are breaking that apart is because, again, we need these games to be able to operate completely independent of blockchain.
Okay.
And because we want to be able to deploy these games in places, because this is a business too, right? And here's the truth of where I think all blockchain is going. And I think you know this, right? So, people are like, a lot of times I think operating under some very false illusions about the decentralization of all of this. There is a decentralization of it, especially, some of the technology behind some of the decentralized autonomous organizations, the DAOs, and some of the DeFi stuff that's going on. But the truth is that 90% of the Ethereum network is really owned by just a couple of companies, right? These Solana is making deals with MasterCard and Visa, and the truth is that there is going to be an integration between traditional business models, between fiat business models, and between crypto business models. There has to be, right? Because it's the only way that this is going to work. And so we know that we're not operating under that illusion. And so we're creating from the ground up an ecosystem that allows us to interact in the non-blockchain world and interact in the blockchain world. And by doing that, our intention is to bring people from the non-blockchain into the blockchain, right? But those things have to operate independent of one another. So Dexi Gas and Dexi are blockchain tokens. You can swap those, and those can be swapped currently with BNB on the Binance Smart Chain, or with USDT through some of the centralized exchanges that we're listed on. But Dexi Cash is literally a non-blockchain in-game currency that's designed for people who want to play the games and enjoy the games to spend that on non-blockchain in-game assets.
Interesting.
And there's a nice balance of those things. But yeah, so our whole kind of mantra is that we want to, and we are creating a hybrid business model, right? We are very much of the mind that this is already happening. Like I said, Solana's putting deals with Visa to process transactions. This is just the reality of things. Chase has built their own blockchain, and they've already purchased a whole bunch of virtual real estate, I think in Decentraland and in other places. Apple owns a ton of Bitcoin as part of on their books as a balance of their investments. This is just where things are going. I'm not saying we're Chase, Apple, or anything else. I'm just saying that this is the reality of, Walmart's getting into the metaverse, and we already know Facebook has made this transition, and this is just what's happening.
Right.
So we're just going along with that, but we need to make sure that we have revenue streams that make sense, that are sustainable, and that we have utility for our tokens. And so by having revenue streams that are sustainable, we have a business model that can actually afford to operate a business and create technology and products that create more utility for our tokens that allow us to operate a crypto business.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
That's what we're after.
Okay, so it's interesting, just gonna insert this comment. It's interesting you said, because I totally agree with you, and I was just telling the community that institutional businesses right now are obviously embracing the decentralized universe, if you will. As a matter of fact, Goldman Sachs just offered $50 million worth of Ethereum to their 30 clients, and very fresh news. It's all happening everywhere, right? So speaking of the finance part of it, so let's talk about the Dexi Wallet 2.0, the Dexi Swap. When you say Dexi Swap, are you guys going to the direction of staking, leaving your money to earn interest as well as part of the development?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's this, we have a smart contract for staking.
Okay.
Excuse me, already deployed. We've been testing that. We haven't deployed the wallet yet, but so they'll be staking on the wallet. They'll be farming as part of Dexi Swap for the liquidity pools on the Smart Dexio network. Once we're on our own blockchain, we're looking at some farming contracts outside of that to potentially enable that beforehand. Staking on the Dexi wallet, which initially the plan was to allow people to stake Dexi in order to earn Dexi gas, kind of like you earn Thor when you have VeChain. But what we've realized, and I don't know if you're familiar with Celsius Wallet, but there's a lot of wallets that are doing this. I kind of like how Celsius Wallet is doing it because I feel like they're very conservative and in doing things in a sustainable way, which makes a lot more sense to me than these kind of crazy it's 1,000% APY. Like, where's all that coming from? But having lending and borrowing models, right? So facilitating peer-to-peer lending. Kind of like what Compound is doing, or there's a lot of projects that are doing that. So, but we want to offer all of these things through our ecosystem, and not as like a way to just tie people to our ecosystem and make them not go anywhere else, but to give people who are coming into crypto through our games a place where they can do all these other things. And maybe they want to do them somewhere else, that's fine, but we want to give them that opportunity. So staking, farming, all those things, borrowing, lending, all of that stuff is all part of our plan. First we need to get these gaming products out there and create all that interest and get people excited about what we're doing. And then we'll start to implement a lot more of these things as we go. We have a very big vision, and we're trying to tackle one part of it right now, which is the gaming portion. We need the wallet and the swap, to be there also, so that, we have that backbone of our ecosystem in place. But, and also the DeFi portion of this. One of our former teammates who left on very good terms and decided to go and do some other stuff in DeFi has presented some really interesting things to me about what he's doing and what's kind of going on at Solana and Luna. And we're keeping our eye on all those things, and we're interested in all that stuff. I'm pretty I don't know I think you're probably in the same boat I am, because you're a business person, but a lot of this stuff that has gone on in the last 6 months or so, and some of these kind of implosions of these different projects was not at all a surprise to me. Like, what happened with Wonderland was probably the best example, but when Wonderland was peaking out, and everybody I knew was like, Wonderland. I took one look at it, and I was like, guys, this is not sustainable. You can't just give tons of stuff away like this. It has to come from somewhere. And so when that whole thing kind of collapsed and blew up, it was painfully obvious to me that was going to happen before it happened. And in a few other instances, some of this rebase stuff, you can't just manufacture nonsense. You have to actually create utility. You have to create revenue streams. You have to have balance. And I think the projects that, in general, not just Dexi, but there are a lot of other projects out there, and there are projects in DeFi trying to do this. Let's think of really interesting, innovative ways to make sure that we're creating utility and sustainability in all of our economic models. And there's gaming companies are getting in, I'm sure you know this, right? Like EA Sports is trying to get into crypto, and there's a bunch of, these kind of big gaming platforms, publicly traded gaming platforms that are going to, start getting into, blockchain-based gaming. They're going to attack that from the sustainable model, right? Okay. These are publicly traded companies have a fiduciary responsibility. The people on the boards and the executive people have a legal fiduciary responsibility to their shareholders, right? They can't do, crazy things. They have to do things that make sense, and there's checks and balances in place to prevent them from doing, things like what Wonderland did. And I'm not harping on Wonderland. I feel bad about what happened there, especially to people who lost a lot of money. But I was like constantly telling everybody I knew, like, do not invest in this. This is not a good idea.
That was an interesting one. Yeah.
I mean, they could have done it differently. Anyways, yeah. So and they have Uniswap now, so there you go. Or Sushi, excuse me. So kind of reminds me of AOL Time Warner back in the day, right? AOL just was had this sort of inflated stock price and did all these maneuvers to get enough capital together to buy Time Warner. Well, Time Warner had real assets, right? So AOL Time Warner became a company only because AOL generated a huge amount of interest in their stocks. They didn't have any real revenue streams or profit models, but they were able to get enough money together to buy real assets in Time Warner, right? Anyways, I think
so Greg,
what you're going to see.
Finish your thoughts. Go ahead, please. Sorry to interrupt you.
Well, I think you're going to see this move towards sustainability and this move towards hybridization of economic models, utility for tokens, utility for coins, inside of blockchain networks that drive innovation, that drive interest, that drive the economy of those blockchain, the portion of that, combined with economic or sustainable business models, sustainable revenue streams that allow you to support the actual business, right? Mm-hmm. That's what we're going to come to. All this crazy stuff that's happening and these pump and dump things and meme coin, all this stuff, all that stuff is eventually going to go away. And what you're going to be left with is a core of businesses and projects that have fought tooth and nail to make sure that they're creating utility for their tokens, creating utility for their network, creating utility for their blockchain, and creating actual revenue streams that you can support a business with.
Right.
That's reality.
Right. So all the right tunes that I'm hearing, music to my ears, and I'm sure with the community, Greg. So these are all great things, right? Dexi Wallet, Dexi Swap, Dexi Knights, Dexi Dragon, Dexi Hunter. One of the questions that I'm seeing in the community right now is, who are your developers? Are they from Asia? Where are they from? The reason that they have asked is, there's a lot of lessons learned in the Philippines that if the developers are Vietnamese or either from Korea, like for example, Mir4, they love Mir4 because the developers are Korean. So, talk to us something about your team, where are they from? And, I'm sure that these are a lot of big things, and I'm sure you're probably a village right now, and you're just obviously the face to the brand today. So who are your team, Greg? And tell us something about that.
Yeah, so there's 45 people on my official team, plus we have other moderators and promoters that we work with, and then outside contractors that we work with. But our primary augmented reality development team is headed up by a guy named Jamil Qureshi. He lives in Pakistan, and he has a team of, I think, 20 or more people that work underneath him.
Okay.
And Jamil has a huge number of different projects going on. He handles our project himself and has a small team of developers, I think 3 or 4 people, junior developers that kind of task stuff. Mm-hmm. And then on the network side of it, he has a guy whose name is Anas Masood, who is also Pakistani. Don Rika, who's our chief executive officer, is actually a developer. He's in Amsterdam, and Twan Kirsting, who's also a developer and a friend of his, who started the project with him, is also in Amsterdam. Twan is our chief development officer, mostly on the ecosystem side of things. We have people in England, people in India. Our game development team is in the U.S. and in Japan, and in India and somewhere else. Oh, and in Macedonia. We have a couple of actually Macedonian developers and animators. We have one of our 3D modelers is from Mexico. Our my kind of right hand in community management is somebody I've already talked about. Her name is Roxy. She's there in the Philippines.
Right.
And we have another community manager in Nigeria, actually a few of our chat managers out of Nigeria. So we are on, and we have people in Australia we work with. Our lawyers are American and then also Dutch. We're working with people in the British Virgin Islands. So we really are global. We're worldwide.
Okay.
And the development team, I'll say this, I think a lot of times people have this notion that like development is something that happens in a bubble, right? But I'm on like 90% of the developer calls, and I am not a developer. It's actually this ongoing joke, hashtag not a developer, because I'm constantly reminding people I'm not a developer. Because I'm not that's not what I do. I'm an operator, right? I'm a businessman. My job is to make sure that things operate. But one of the things that we found synergy in is that even people who don't have any necessarily development experience can provide a lot of insight to especially user experience. One of our chief strategy officer is a guy named Rob Barlow, and Rob is like super, super smart and incredibly gifted at many things, but he's a very avid and clearly exceptionally good gamer. And so he has great insights about user experience that he's able to relate to those developers, our game developers, that gives them a chance to kind of see things from the user experience side, right? And so our development doesn't happen in a bubble. We pitch stuff to the community. We, like I said, we've been beta testing nights for a while, getting a lot of feedback. We let all of our whole admin team is able to download and use all the different versions of Dexi Hunter as we've been getting build after build after build, and talking about their experiences with those things to give feedback to the development team, that the development team can make a better product from the user's point of view. So our development really is like the whole team is involved in development, right? And then the hard coders, the people that are doing the coding are very patient. I'll say that.
Okay. So it sounds like you're obviously a lot of folks. It's really a village, they say, right, to make a good, impactful team. And kudos to you guys on that. I think the couple of questions I'm going to be asking would be more of one from an investor perspective, and the next is going to be on the player perspective, right? So I heard earlier and kind of take down note about it that there are some investors from Turkey. So are you saying that you guys are not open for an ICO or more of a pre-seed play here when your games are out? Are you still going to be opening some mystic or mythical characters that's going to be appreciating the value in the future? You guys aren't going to be going in that direction anymore and just going to be going straight launch with this one? Or how would that look like from a roadmap standpoint?
So, okay, so if I understand right, so like a lot of games prior to release will do like a pre-sale on
some of the eggs or dragon eggs, if you will, and stuff like that. So is that the idea or design for you guys?
We have talked about that as it relates to dragons, because dragons, that kind of makes sense with dragons, and we've talked about that as it relates to some of the other games that I haven't talked about that we have in development. Dexi Hero and Legends of the Dexiverse are two other games that we're not exactly working on right now because we're working on these other games. And so we've talked about doing something like that. What we're, again, going back to business model, right? So one of the things that we're in the process of doing is filing corporate paperwork in the state of Delaware, which I'm sure you're familiar with why we're doing that. And we have a business set up here in Columbus, Ohio, an LLC, and then we have a business that's kind of the Dutch version of LLC set up in Amsterdam. And then we're registering the crypto business in the British Virgin Islands. And so one of the things that we're going to be doing is kind of attacking this from a business point of view. So we're going to create some hype and interest around the tokens themselves and things that we're doing with the tokens. I'm not going to commit to doing mythical type pre-sale stuff, although again, we've talked about that. But we are going to be creating an opportunity for more traditional investors to get involved in our business as well. So, that's kind of more of the angle that we're looking at. And with Hunter, and you mentioned Istanbul. The thing about Hunter is that you don't really need you'll be able to use an NFT asset that we call a Dexi badge that will make things better, the experience for you better. and you'll be able to sell that on our marketplace, as the value of it increases over time. But Hunter is not really about using NFT assets to interact in the game. Hunter is literally collecting assets. Your contribution to that is going out and walking around and being
right and collecting those stuff, right? Yeah,
exactly. And so as we release more games and as we release updates to the games, we're going to have cooler and cooler rare NFTs, and those things probably will have some pre-launches associated with them as we move into different epics of the games. But the most important thing for us right now is that we get these games in people's hands and we kind of rapid fire these products out. So we really prove to the whole world outside of our community that we're very serious about what we're doing and that we're talented developers and product makers. And then from there, we're going to take feedback from the people that are playing the games and try to figure out new ways to bring more and more and more people in.
Right. I like that I'm hearing, you guys are getting corporate paperwork in Delaware and a lot of regulatory requirements you guys needed to kind of comply with. All music to my ears, and it sounds good for someone, obviously, from a third-party perspective, from a third-party lens. Obviously, we would like to kind of build that with the community, that we're obviously going to be here for the long term. I like that there's not really much of hype today in terms of pre-seed sale, buy now, etc. To kind of maybe just put also in perspective, because I myself, I'm getting to the point of I love what I'm hearing, and it looks like I'm on board here. Just because obviously not just I'm speaking with you face to face, Greg, but when I look at the product, when I look at the particular development, I'm just firing all the questions. Okay, are you guys gonna be registered? Is there gonna be regulatory paperwork? Blah 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 blah. And I'm hearing all of those from you, which is really really good. And I think as a community member, you guys, for people that are watching the show, it's not just because Greg is in this call, but I think what's important for all of us is we kind of take it with a grain of salt. And I think by doing so, we kind of ask the right questions with the things that we are hearing. And I think that, with the sincerity that we're getting today, it sounds like this is really a project with a long-term perspective. And I cannot wait, right? Because I'm hearing dates like end of this year, especially on the Dexi wallet, etc. So kudos to you guys. I'm sure you're all busy there, Greg. So maybe I'm seeing a lot of questions about this coming April. People are forcing me to ask you the questions about April, although you've answered it already. No, and obviously you kind of just play it by ear, right? In terms of really trying to find out, because I'm sure it's probably a commercial or you guys cannot always disclose. But this coming April, there's gonna be what do we need to do? As a person waiting, right, for all of this to unfold?
I think that for all of our current holders, we've been through a lot, in the roughly 11 months we've been at this, right? And not quite 11 months, it'll be 11 months on April 5th. So 10 months, a little over 10 months. And, we saw a incredible bull run in October where, we literally went 30X, sort of overnight. And, with any giant pump like that, there came, the dumping, which is something we've always kind of tried to avoid in our marketing strategies, right? We don't want to create a situation where there's a huge amount of hype over kind of nothing that can't be backed up by anything. And then you have a whole bunch of people who buy at the top and are left holding that bag, right? That's what we've always tried to avoid. And unfortunately, that kind of happened to us. And not because of anything we were necessarily doing. It just sort of, was like a runaway thing. And so, we've settled back into, a much lower price point with Dexi and Dexi Gas that no one on our team is happy about it. We're not like, we're sitting at a $12 million market cap or whatever. But that whole process was, a good learning experience for us, but it also, created a lot of interest. It created a lot of holders. And now I think we know what we need to do the next time that happens, which is probably going to happen in April, right? To sustain and maintain those holders and give them, a reason to stick around and not just, kind of moon boy in and out of the project. I've always said, and I really believe this, that if you build good products, those products will speak for themselves. And if you have smart, thoughtful marketing around those products, that you'll find the people that will market it for you. And that's what we're doing. And so to all of our existing holders who have held strong, through all of that, I'm super grateful for you guys and for all the people that are coming into the project now. You're really at the beginning of this thing. So starting April 4th, we're going to begin rapid fire releasing the following products, and not in this order. I'm not telling anybody what to order.
You got to remember, are listening at you, and they will look back at the recording of this video.
Not in this order. Not in this order. I keep saying that. So I'm not telling any. It's fun. It's fun for us because we know what we're releasing first, obviously. But anyway, so we will be releasing Dexi Wallet 2.0, Dexi Swap. We will be releasing the full P2E mechanics of Dexi Nights and the PvP functionality of that. Again, with our integrated super login system, we will be releasing the Dexi Dragons beta, and we're probably going to get Dexi Carnival out in April also, but that I'm not 100% on. So, but for sure, Dragons full Knights upgrade, and Dexi Wallet and Dexi Swap, and of course, we are going to also launch the 5-city Dexi Hunter augmented reality beta. Mm-hmm. So all of those things are happening in April. And, all I can say is that now is a good time to get into the project, and if you're hesitant about, going full tilt, it's pretty easy to get a pretty decent bag right now of both Dexi and Dexi Gas. And I would strongly recommend doing that. Okay. But, you can wait and find out what happens too. I think people will look back at this moment and go, I probably should have listened to this guy. Okay. But because I know I've had those moments. I know you have too. I mean, over the years, I've invested in a lot of things. Right. And there's friends of mine told me about stocks that, even like Apple, right. I bought and sold Apple many, many years ago and hated myself for years afterwards for selling it.
And by the way, Greg, just as you know, I'm showing the Dexio protocol trading view chart, so the community can see the chart itself. I mean, to your point, there was obviously an all-time high way back October of last year, and there's obviously a retracement on the price. And I'm looking at it right now and kind of connecting the dots together here in terms of, okay, we're kind of we've seen a retracement, obviously from an all-time high of 0.00027 down to almost 0.00040, or one more zero there. So what you're saying is, and I'm just kind of trying to rephrase it, what you're saying is, with all of these developments on its way and the price is still at this level, you kind of see that potentially there is obviously a potential for this price to catch up again, and potentially this is a good time to enter prior all of these developments go into the market and kind of go live, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Or wait until you start to see these products come out and we put our money where our mouth is. I just think it probably will be more expensive at that point to get in.
And
so,
on that set, you earn my respect there, my friend. Right? So you saying wait, for someone, I've never heard that in any of my guests. So props to you guys, because I like it when you say, this is my personal opinion to my viewers. It's rare that I say someone at your level say, you know what, maybe wait for us and kind of see when it unfolds and then invest, right? And I think it kind of speaks volumes of what you guys wanted to do and accomplish in your team. And obviously not just on hype, but you really want to obviously kind of grow this business and look at the value it's creating, both from a player perspective, utility to your point, and obviously the revenue. So props to you guys there, Greg and team.
Well, I can't even tell you how grateful I am to have the opportunity to talk to you today, Coach. I mean that. You and I have had a couple of conversations prior to this privately, and yeah. I just instantly liked you and your whole team and everything that you're trying to do, especially on the education component, trying to get people to understand how to, wisely use the resources that they have to better their lives. That's, I mean, I think the most important thing that we can do in our lives, right, is to make the world around us better, whatever that means. And I think you guys are doing that by, educating your community in a healthy and thoughtful way, not just trying to push them into one pump project or another one, but really talking about, how to invest and how to think about things and how to critically look at what's going on and make decisions that are going to benefit you and your family and your community in the future. That's the essence of a meaningful life, right?
Yeah.
So I'm grateful for you and for everything that you're doing.
Thank you. And should I get the guitar and play a tune, or strum a tone, a note already?
Definitely get your guitar and play at least a little bit of Philippine music while I enjoy it.
No, I mean, thank you for that kind words, Greg. Again, let me say this to the community. I've interviewed a lot here, right? I've interviewed the chief branding officer of BingX, the CEO of Crypto Island, Soul Chicks, etc. I've spoken to, I would say, a few already, and obviously I'm sure that they're all here to educate. And it's rare that I kind of hear someone at your level say, "You guys gotta wait." I mean, it's okay to wait, right? So again, to my Miranda Minor followers, I think it's a good step, no, to kind of understand where the heart is of this community, right? So not just hyping or whatsoever, but basically they're here to kind of show to us that there is a game that we're supposed to enjoy. And I like it as well that you're also going to attract those pure play gamers out there, not just on the the cryptocurrency wallet space or the NFT or the play to earn community, right? So I would say maybe last couple of questions that I'm just gonna be getting here from the community. They're saying thank you for your time, Sir Greg. From one of the members, Charlene. Greg Guru. Someone said Greg Guru. All right.
I don't know of all that, but ask my kids. They'll tell you I'm no guru.
Okay, and then let me read some questions. What is the correlation between DexiCash and DexiGas, and how will DexiCash impact the utility of DexiGas? I think you kind of answered it, but maybe is there anything you'd like to add further from your answer earlier?
They are totally separate things.
Right.
One is engineered to facilitate the non-blockchain interactions for people who want to play our games in a non-blockchain way. And the other is engineered to facilitate blockchain transactions and the NFTs in our games. So they're just separate things.
Okay. There is a famous volcano in the Philippines. It's called Mayon Volcano. It's south of Manila, and they're saying, please drop a Dexi Dragon in the volcano.
I think we're going to try to avoid putting any boundaries in dangerous places.
Please don't.
But is the volcano active?
It is active. Yeah, it is. It is. Volcanoes in the Philippines are level 1 currently. Level 1 warning today. No. So.
Well, be safe.
Okay. So again, if you don't want the volcano, go to my house and put the most mythical dragon here in my unit. And people are gonna be knocking. Hey, is there someone inside? Because there's a dragon somewhere here.
Look, there's gonna be close to 20,000 assets dropped on Manila, and there's only gonna be 50 of you guys trying to find them. So I'm sure that you will get lots of really cool stuff.
Okay, Roxy, you're my best friend right now. Okay, so gotta get my address, and I'm kidding.
You're already on the list, man. It's like you're good.
Oh, it's funny. Someone said, "Okay, please drop it in the Malacanang where the president is." It's interesting.
I think we shouldn't do that. Yeah.
All right.
Although we could get him to be a beta tester. That'd be great.
Yeah. All right. I would like to add a shout out from Greg. So from Ronald, shout out. Is there Dale? About staking, I already asked this earlier. So there's gonna be a staking feature. Any other questions, guys, that I can ask? So, there's a comment here. Thank you. The project is very transparent. Thank you for that. Where to buy Dexi and Dexi gas?
So obviously you can, we're Binance Smart Chain, we're on Pancake Swap. So if you're familiar with buying on Pancake Swap, otherwise you can buy both Dexi and Dexi gas on LBank, lbank.info. And you can also buy Dexi on mexc.com. So, and we're paired with USDT at those exchanges. You can also buy Dexi at P2P, B2B.io, and trade there, although the volume there's not much volume there. But definitely at MEXC for Dexi, and then LBank for both Dexi and Dexi gas, and then of course Pancake Swap.
Yeah, and I'm actually showing that in my screen right now in CoinMarketCap, where the markets are.
Yeah, and if you go to DEXIOPROTOCOL.com, so one of the things that we have tried to do in terms of transparency, our entire team is listed there on the team page. So that I think there's 42 or 43 people on the team page there. So you can see who all the developers are, all the game devs, our designers, community managers, and executive team. But you can also find links to all of these things. So you can download Dexi Nights currently through a platform called itch.io. The download link is there on our games page and on our Dexi Nights page. And then you can also follow that page to get the downloads for Dexi Hunter and Dexi Dragons, Dexi Carnival that are upcoming, as well as the download links for the current Dexi wallet, and then of course the new Dexi wallet and Dexi Swap. So all that stuff is, if you go to our website, all that stuff is very easy to access. And then of course there's also links to the exchanges where you can purchase, buy, sell, trade Dexi and Dexi gas.
Okay, I'm opening MEXC Global right now. People could see it in my screen. They're seeing Dexi USDT here as well. So just an FYI, everyone. Okay, so that was a good interview, Greg. Huh? I mean, I think it's very informative, conversational, fluid, and for everyone's information, I did not rehearse anything of any of the questions. This is a really fluid interview. Is there anything you'd like to add from the answers you've already given, Greg, and maybe any other things you'd like to add for this particular interview for our Filipino community?
No, I think I just want to close by saying that, I have been incredibly impressed with and also very grateful for our Philippine community. We had a relatively small Filipino community to start with. One of our early investors, a guy whose username is John, got us a Philippine community, chat kind of going. John's still around. We love John. He's one of our moderators, but and definitely grateful for him. And then Roxy kind of came along and just instantly loved her, and she's really kind of taken this to the next level. One of our new friends, Artie Crypto, who had a baby last night and was messaging me from the hospital.
Oh wow!
After his son was born.
Wow.
I'm like, dude, that's awesome, but I'm like, it was really, it meant a lot to me that he included me in that wonderful thing. But in any event, I'm impressed with the enthusiasm, the demeanor, the activity level, the communication of our Philippine community. It makes me want to go to the Philippines. I know right now I really can't, but I can't wait to visit you guys' country and meet some of you people. And I'm just super grateful for the Philippine community. I really am. I mean that. I'm grateful for all of our communities. I just have been incredibly impressed by the Philippine community. Just super enthusiastic, wonderful, happy, very fun people, easy to work with, and very enthusiastic. And I can't wait to do more stuff with you guys.
Right. And I'm sure they're just reciprocating, your leadership and your warmth and transparency for sure, Greg, right? And for me, in behalf of the Filipino community, thank you for giving us a time to interview you. I know you're a very busy man, especially it's a weekend. And again, as I've said to you in my previous, in our one-on-one chat, if you want to ask anything on what's going to be happening in the future, you ask me. It's already almost Sunday time here. I'm a one day ahead of you. So if you want to ask me what's happening a day after or a day before, a day after, just ask me, okay?
I am. You're my guide to the future. What's going to happen next, Coach?
I will tell you. What's going to happen? It's a running joke. It's a running joke. Yeah. So thank you, and I hope you could also put us again in your calendar at least on the 4th. I'm sure you're going to be very busy, but I would love to have you anytime.
I'm gonna check.
Yeah,
For sure.
April 4th
yeah.
onwards. I'm
Absolutely.
sure that the community here will definitely get to want to see you again, and would love to kind of hear from you from a development perspective, from a Dexio protocol standpoint. I wish you all the best. Enjoy your weekend, Greg, and regards to the family. And I'll make sure that this community is up to speed with what you guys are doing here. So thank you.
Thank you so much, man. I thank you. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you. All right. Okay. Have a good Saturday. Bye, Greg.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
you too, man. Bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, that was it, guys. Naubos ang English natin. Oh, wow, my English. Okay, so let me just bring the big camera here. All right. So, it's rare, no? Ako po, it's rare for me to interview such a guy kung saan, he's telling me, no, guys, I'll speak in Tagalog now, no? So basically, he's telling us, magantay kayo, it's okay, magantay kayo kung gusto nyo. And it's rare, It's rare that people will say that. Sometimes I get, bili na kayo ngayon, buy right now, right? And sometimes people will say that, right? At the end of the day, that kind of caught my attention. No, it caught my attention, and it's interesting. Couple of things na nakita ko from my own perspective. Unang-una, available na yung coin. Available siya. Although 12 million yung cap niya, and alam niyo naman to, guys. Sabi ko lagi 100 million cap ang bibilhin. No, but I said as well in the university, it's okay to be defensive. Put 1% of your possessions on coins with a good high potential coins. No. So, let's see, guys. No, hindi ko pa sasabihin put your 1% right now. Pero let's see, sabi nga na rin niya, magantay kayo until April 4, no? But he got my interest. He got my interest because maganda yung sinabi niya, guys, na-appreciate ko siya kasi sabi niya sa atin, yung price namin noong October, maganda yung price namin noong October, no? Nag-all-time high kami sa 0.00027 during that time. No, and eventually nagkaroon ng drawdown retracement. Bumaba sa around 0.000, para siyang SHIB Inu or Katecoin, naging 0.0003309. Pero ang kagandahan sa sinabi niya, sa lahat ng sinabi niya, medyo na-overwhelmed din ako kasi ang dami niyang sinabi. May Dexi Wallet, Dexi Swap, Dexi Knight, Dexi Dragon, Dexi Hunters, ang dami. So ang worry ko lang is baka naman sobrang dami niyong gustong gawin at kulang yung team. Pero nung sinabi naman niya na meron silang maraming team, and I like it, at least very transparent, kilala nyo lahat ng tao dito. No, sabi ko, I was worried na sobrang dami ng gusto nilang gawin. But it looks like they have a village to help them. And especially you have the developers, you have your front-end developers, you have your game development team, etc. So ako, in my perspective, isa sa mga good signs na nakita ko is siya yung COO, hindi siya namimilit. No, hindi siya namimilit, and gusto niya, no, gusto niya na magkaroon kayo ng take away kung saan, sige, hintayin niyo ako, let's all wait for the development. Sige, ako mag-aantay din ako. Pero magtatabi na ako ng konting net assets ko to let's see. Tingnan natin, guys, no. Again, I will not hype you, I will not say you buy now for the record, pero this development got my attention. They got my attention. Okay? Gusto ko, again, sinasabi ko sa inyo, gusto ko yung sinabi niya na mag-antay kayo. Number 2, tinitrade na siya, available na siya sa Mexi, sa Pancake Swap. Hindi siya yung tipong bili ka lang ng bilhin, you cannot withdraw. No? Kasi meron tawag doon honeypot, no? Naka-design yon for the developer to be the one to move out money. Ikaw move in money ka lang, hindi ka makapag-move out ng money. So walang ganon kasi natitrade na siya, no? At may mga developers, may nakikita akong tao, okay naman yung white paper, may konti pa akong hinahanap doon sa white paper, pero tingin ko de-develop naman din nila yan. At merong Dexi Wallet, hindi nila gustong maglagay lang ng APR or hype, no? Gusto nila magkaroon ng model of Celsius, yung Celsius wallet, maganda yon. Although may konting issue lang yun, no, sa state of New York and New Jersey, pero let's not talk about that. Maganda na meron silang smart contract for staking. I like that they have a mindset of utility and money. Gusto ko yon. At gusto nilang gawin na meron silang pattern of an augmented reality, let's say Pokemon Go. At sa tingin ko, no, maganda yung giya nung mama eh. Sa tingin ko maganda yung giya in the sense that gusto niyang bigyan kayo ng more education. And as a matter of fact, guys, itong interview na to, wala naman kayo nakitang hype sa kanya. Am I correct? Type number 1 if you agree. Wala kayo nakitang sabi niya na, oh, bumili kayo ngayon, di ba? Type number 1. Bihira yun. Bihira yun sa isang ini-interview ko. Di ba? It kind of saves me in the sense of, kasi minsan ako, gusto ko, o teka lang, mamaya ka na mag-promote, mag-discuss muna tayo. Ang tagal namin nag-uusap eh. Kanina pa kami nag-uusap nito, before pa ng show, nag-uusap na kami offline. No? And let me just actually bring back my screen here. So yan, no? So I'm showing my screen right now. Of course, yung market cap, no, $17 million, 'di ba? Alam niyo naman, sinasabi ko lagi sa community natin, magantay kayo ng 100 million, no, para safe na safe kayo, no? But in this case, sabi ko, pwede naman kayo maglagay ng 1% sa mga HPCs or high potential coin. But I'm not saying you buy now. Pero ang kagandang sa sinasabi niya, pag naglagay ka ngayon, wala pa silang development ngayon eh. They have no develop. Ito pa yung price nila ngayon, no? So, pwede kang gumawa ng trend resistance breakout or ng extended Fibonacci there. Pasok ka doon sa mga price na merong pasok ka sa price na merong breakout on the 618. Okay? Ano may nakakatuwa na, alam mo yon, kasi syempre lahat naman tayo, iniisip natin, mararag pull ba to? Mahoneypot ba to? Eh, ganyan naman tanong natin lagi, di ba? Am I correct, guys? Pero ito kasi, naghahanap ako ng signs na ito ba mararag pull, ito ba, di ba? And at the end of the day, walang mawawala kasi mag-aantay naman tayo. Mag-aantay tayo ng release. Mag-aantay tayo ng release by April 4. Bihira yung ganun. Bihira yung, wala silang mga pre-seed sale. Bahala ka sa buhay, bumili ka o hindi. Wala silang pakialam. Ang pakialam nila, yung shareholder value ng play. Kasi siguro, and isa pang maganda narinig ko, I wrote it down as well. They want to have regulatory, corporate paperwork in Delaware, no? And they're looking for registration and regulatory paperwork sa mga sa states, no? Kasi guys, kailangan kasi nila to if they're attracting investors to come in. No, like banks to invest on them, you know, Goldman Sachs, you know, or SoftBank from Japan, whatever, no? So marami mga ganyan, and they need to have some regulatory paperwork compliances to be fulfilled. When I hear that, sabi ko, okay. When I hear that, they got my attention, di ba? Kasi yun ang mahalaga eh, yung smart money or the stealth money, yun yung hinahanap ko. Where is the smart money going? When you say smart money, it means ang ibig sabihin nito, ito yung pera ng mga institutional investors. You need to follow where the money is going, no? And in this case, yun yung sinasabi ko na wala pa silang lumalabas na product, hindi ka naman niya hina-hype, sinasabi lang niya yung what's up and coming, nasa sayo na yung decision. Okay? Type number 1 if you're getting what I'm trying to say here. Type number 1. Okay? So what is my parting words for all of you? My parting words is obviously, I will not force you to buy. And I would like to agree with what Greg has said. Magantay kayo. And I will tell you, I will agree with what he said. No? You guys wait. No? You guys wait. And I hope that in your journey to look, sabi ko nga sa inyo nung aking predictions for December 31, 2022, magkakaroon tayo ng mga, everyone is trying to be the next Axie. Diba? Everyone is trying to be the next Axie. So, with that said, no, I would like you to stay curious. I would like you to take things with a grain of salt. Ibig sabihin nun, you need to become very curious of what they do. No? Unang-una, tinitrade na ba yan? Check. Pangalawa, meron ba silang white paper? Check. Number 3, do they have a roadmap ahead? Check. Number 4, pinipilit ka ba niya mag-invest? Hindi. Check. Okay? You do your check mark. No? And you evaluate if this will make sense to you. Okay? Not because may itsura yung yung nagtitinda sa not because magaling magsalita, hindi ganon. It's not that. No? Your money, you put your money, right, on an area where you are risk averse. No, you put your money where where it's risk averse. And eventually, you put your money where you think you have the highest probability of gaining back, no, what you invested on. No? And as I've said, sa tagal ko na nag-i-interview dito, this is the first time actually that I heard someone said, you wait. Nakakapanibago. Do you guys agree? Type number 1 kung nag-a-agree kayo. No? So, that is my reminder to all of you. Ngayon, for those that are risk takers, no, you wanted to take some risk, it's a 1% position size. It's up to you. You buy. No, di kita pipilitan. I will not force you. You buy, put your money in Dexio. Buy when the price is really low. It's being traded anyways. And, don't put your money that you need for dinner. No? You put money that you're just willing to forget. And that's the purpose of my show. Let's look for people, look for areas where we can put, saan mo ilalagay yung ating investment. O yan. Ang presyo nila ngayon is 0.0003366. Mas mahal pa siya ng konti kaysa kay let me just double check. Mas mahal pa siya ng konti. Let me just open TradingView. Let's look for SHIB, okay? Ayan, SHIB is 0.00022. Mas mahal pa siya ng konti kay SHIB. Okay, parang ganito yung itsura niya din. Nagkaroon ng October, November na pump. Bumaba din. Diba? Ang SHIB, ano ba yung development niya? Aralin nyo, ano ba yung development ng SHIB? E ngayon, may nakausap kayo, yung Chief Operations Officer ng isang kumpanya na nagsasabi siya na meron silang mga upcoming projects. Ito yung price niya ngayon. Nasa sa inyo yan, if you wanna invest on this particular area where the price is like this, no? Or, or you wanna risk take. Ngayon, if you're going to invest, trade at your own risk. Okay? Because at the end of the day, it's gonna be your own money that you're gonna be putting here. Okay? Alright, type number 1 if you have learned something today. Alright, type number 1 if you learned something today. Alright, sige nga, I want it. And of course, I'm going to do some little bit of charting before I let you guys all go. Kasi na-miss ko kayo. I missed all of you. I miss you guys. Yesterday, hindi ako nag-live kahapon. Okay, so let me just try to open my other chart. Okay, by the way guys, I would just like to say thank you for those that followed me in Twitter and congratulations. Kumita kayo ng malaki-laking pera kahapon dahil sa tweet natin with XRP. Sino yung mga kumita dahil sa tweet ko sa XRP? Kumaway-kaway nga kayo. Kumaway-kaway. Sige, type number 1 if you have earned 4 AM kahapon or kanina, kumita kayo ng malaki-laki. Nako. Nag-tweet tayo doon. Sabi natin, ayan around alas 4 ng umaga, sabi natin dyan, ayan, nagkaroon ng order ang court. Sabi ng court for XRP, SEC's motion to strike Ripple Fair Notice affirmative defense is denied. Okay, what does that mean? Okay, by the way, thank you again for all of the members of Dexio Protocol. Thank you again for having us, the channel, to invite your COO, and thank you again for the community. All right, let's now change our topic. Regards to the people in Dexio in the chat room. All right, Morillo Minelio. All right, very good. Roxy from the Philippines. Very good. All right. Oh, there's a lot of people typing number 1, meaning kayo ay natuto at kumita sa XRP. Very good. All right, let's now talk about XRP as a usual part of our interview. And of course, this review is brought to you by...
This program is brought to you by BingX, the world's fastest growing crypto app where you could find your next crypto gem and where trading is made easy.
Alright, let's talk about XRP at this point. No? Sabi ng XRP dito, guys, we're going to a different topic now. Again, thank you, DEXIOPROTOCOL. So, what does this mean? Okay, and ang bala ko, I'm going to have another live tomorrow. Panoorin nyo yung bukas because I'm going to be talking about XRP and what are the things that's gonna be up and coming next week. Guys, you must watch tomorrow because ako po ay magcha-chart ng potential issues na mangyayari ng Monday to Friday next week. Okay? Type number 1 kung manunod ka bukas. You need to watch. Okay? Kasi pag hindi ka makinig, sa Tuesday mo na ako makakausap because sa Monday, I'm gonna be talking to the members of the YouTube live. No? So I'm not going to talk to you. I'm going to talk to the members only on Monday. Let's now talk about this. No? A little bit lang. So, you need to remember that one of the major defenses ng XRP is, teka lang, SEC, hindi naman po namin alam na kailangan namin kayong sabihan when we are about to sell XRP as a security. Yun. No? Ginagamit nga yung argument ng SEC na bawal nyong gamitin yan and they're asking the judge to strike that down. Itong particular order na ito ng court, sinasabi nito, teka lang SEC, hindi pwede. Let the Ripple team raise the motion. Gamitin nyo sa court. Hindi ibig sabihin na nanalo na yung XRP. Ang ibig sabihin nito, gamitin ninyo sa court, ipakita nyo sa akin, paano nyo kayo convince, why do you think that the fair notice affirmative defense is something that you can use, no, as a Ripple, no, and defend your case. This is a very, very strong argument kasi ito yung pinapatanggal ni SEC. Remember, nag-usap na sila dyan. Unang-una sabi nila, wag nyo namang ipa-unseal yung sinabi ng previous SEC commissioner about Ethereum. Okay, yun yung isa. Isa pa to. Kaya nung lumabas ito, sabi ko kaagad, oy, teka lang guys, as early as alas 4 ng madaling araw, 4:45 AM, sabi ko, oy, this is a very, very good tweet. Makinig kayo, di ko alam kung binabasa nyo yung tweet ni Coach. I-follow nyo ako lahat sa Twitter. Follow me in Twitter. Okay, because I'm going to tell you if something is really big. And when I said this is going to be a good bag for Ripple since they can now use this defense in the court. When this happened, the price was 0.76. Umabot pa ng 0.84. So congratulations kung ikaw ay profitable kahapon. Alright, sige nga. Type letter P kung ikaw ay profitable kahapon dahil sa tweet na ito. Napakagandang tweet niya. Di siyempre, tayo ay nag-withdraw ng ating mga profits. Ayan, no? Kita mo na, kunwari, hindi mo nakita ang profits. Huwag ka maingay. May pambili na ako ng kape. Alright? And alam mo yun, siyempre kahit maliit naman yung leverage natin, malaki naman konti yung ating capital or margins natin. Kaya malaki din yung nakita nating profit weekly. Alright? Isa pa to, nakakatawa to, no? Hindi ko alam kung totoo to. Sabi sa Washington Post. Ay nako, the White House is briefing TikTok stars about the war in Ukraine. Para mga pa-TikTokeris na ako ngayon. Diba? It's quite interesting. And of course, binabati ko ang batch number 28. Maraming salamat. Batch 28 and batch number 27. Ayan. Okay. Ayan po ang ating mga mahal na mga estudyante. Binabati ko po kayo. No? Of course, bantayan po ninyong XRP. This is how the chart is looking like today. Bantayan niyo yan. Okay. Alright. Ano pa ba pinost ko dito? Yan. Oy guys, ito another tweet. Itong si Samson Mao, he is one of the executives, no, in Blockstream. So, aalis na siya at ang pagkakaalam ko dito, aalis siya dyan to focus on nation-state Bitcoin adoption. In this case, it's gonna be the Mexico. Yung aayusin niya. Okay, so mukhang susunod ang Mexico sa kanya. Sa El Salvador. Okay, ang daming prime. Profitable. Very good. Thank you. Alright. Letter T, tulog. Sabi ni Jasper, letter S, sabaw. Sabaw, ay nako. Konti lang yung kumita. Kasi i-follow nyo si Coach. Alright. Another thing, I will discuss this coming next week. Di-discuss ko to. Ihihimayin ko to sa inyo. Anong ibig sabihin? What does this mean? No? When you say T10, Y2Y, what does that mean? So I have this. Ito yung ating chart dyan. Okay? So that 10-year Y2Y, guys, malapit na pong mag-zero. Nako. Ay, nako, mapuputol na. Whew! Nako. So, if you've noticed, yan, ito yung inaaral natin ng mga nakakaraang araw. If you guys would have noticed, yan. Okay, sabi natin, alright, inaral po natin ito for my students, FYI, in the market. During the time na humahalik po ng zero, okay, ang 10-year treasury minus 2-year treasury yield rates, meron pong nangyayaring recession. Okay? At malapit na pong humalik. Ito na po tayo, nasa 25 basis points delta na lang po. Okay? It's already 25 basis points, and that potentially means that if this happens again, it reaches zero, it can potentially cause a recession in the United States of America. Okay, let's talk about that very soon. And of course, during this time, bagsak po lahat ng merkado, FYI. Nung tinitweet ko to kagahapon, bagsak ang SPX, sobrang bagsak, napakapangit. Naglilinis, they're actually cleaning their hands right now. People are cleaning their hands on the potential drawdowns and volatility next week. So, ingat kayo dito. Please make sure you are aware and you're actually updated for all of my tweets and my show. Another one, Nasdaq China. Nako. Ang pinakamababang performance way back 2016 is the performance today. Something is happening. Nasdaq China sobrang bagsak. Ang dami pong bumabagsak ngayon. So again, hindi ako nananakot. Ang sinasabi ko sa inyo, and I'll be very honest with you, pwedeng ang Bitcoin bumaba ng 35 by next week. Abangan nyo mga important trend support lines. Huwag kayo mag-assume bababa ngayon. Of course, look for your 618 or trend support lines. Pag bumagsak, nag-confirm, pwedeng mag-35. No? Again, what I saw is a rally of selling last Friday or kahapon or earlier in the US market, even on the other markets. Matter of fact, let's actually try to open market watch right now. Okay, majority of the Asian market except for Shanghai, Sensex, and Singapore are actually positive. But the European market naka-recover, no? Maganda yung mga nakikita nilang recovery. But of course, in the US, medyo pangit. People are cleaning hands simply because in the States, lalabas po next week ang hike. No, the meeting of the Federal Reserve is going to be happening on March 15 and 16. Pag-uusapan po nila at lalabas na po dyan by March 15 and 16 ang potential rate hike na ilalabas nila. Okay? So again. Okay, and of course, the price of oil is already shooting up to the higher high at $125 a piece. Inaapektuhan po niya ng ating dollar index, in this case DXY, ang ating DXY yan. And you will notice that DXY actually lumalakas po ang dollar index currently at 99. Napansin ninyo ang palitan ng piso, 52 pesos na. Humihina ang peso, 'di ba? Ang ruble humihina kasi nga lumalakas ang dolyar, tumataas po ang presyo ng langis because the DXY is actually going higher. So what does that mean? Tataas ang presyo ng goods and fuel and services, inflation, tataas yan. And for the government to stop that, they would need to raise the interest rates. Rates of your treasury bonds, the short-term treasury bonds, your 2-year treasury bonds. Pag tumaas yan, ito yung 2-year treasury bond rates mo, ito yung 10-year, magpa-flatten yung curve. Pag lumiit yung delta niyan, recession ang mangyayari. Okay? So, yun. Yan ang ating important na discussion for today. Alright, let's go quickly on where Bitcoin is going at this point. Okay, let's just quickly go on with our one-day charting for Bitcoin. Yan. Okay, of course, nagkakaroon ito ng common, as usual, we have our common support, no, or common resistance areas at your 618 area in this particular area. There you go. And of course, meron ka ding common support from here, swing low to swing high. Kunin ko dito yung 618 area. This is gonna be your common support line. There you go. And of course, dito tayo kukuha ngayon ng trade setups within this particular area. Okay. So, tinuro ko na sa inyo yan. So, it looks like, based on your MACD confirmations. Okay. And let's put your RSIs. Before tayo makalimot today. Of course, meron ka na nakikitang pag-recover ng MACD. Okay. Tanggalin ko muna itong RSI na to kasi doble na. Okay. Of course, meron tayong RSI 30 at 30 dito. Okay, the volume is a little bit low, which is expected. In this particular perspective, pwede tayong kumuha ng potential triangle. Just on this, you can actually create this as well. Pwede rin tayong gumawa ng triangle in this particular area. Okay. Ngayon, nag-aantay po tayo ng, of course, ba tayo sa lower time frame. Okay. Makakita kayo ng mga ganito. Nakakita kayo ng mga ganito. 1, 2. Siyempre, may consolidation dito. No? So, ang gagawin nyo dyan, magkakaroon tayo ng konting evaluation of your price action. Obviously, meron ka din nakikitang pwedeng buuin dito na trend support line. Yan. Pag ito po nabasag, potentially, pag ito po bumasag dito, this can potentially go down here. And of course, pwede ka din kumuha ng, kasi 618 mo tong 37,800. If this one actually creates another lower low because nabasag itong trend support line na ito yung potential bounce point area mo. Or what you can also do is to create a reversed trend extension pababa. No? You can actually do that as well. No? So, pero at least natatandaan mo na potentially this one pwedeng sumalo. No? This one pwede itong sumalo and potentially your price can obviously go down further based on this trend support line. Pwedeng bumaba and potentially pwede mong saluhin dito. And again, what I'm trying to say is marami pong mga negative news next week. So, bilang isang trader, mag-spend ka ng magandang weekend. Huwag ka munang maglabas na napakalaking pera. Mag-trade ka lang on the right position size. No? And look for the right coin. Tinuro ko yan sa Watch 28 kanina, how to look for the right coin. Uupo ka, labas mo yung kape mo, program your screen, how to choose and how to do your alerts. Click this one, how to do this, yung mga ganyan-ganyan. And how to make sure you do this one side of the screen correctly. Lahat yan. Kailangan mo tutunan yan. So ngayon, I will not go deep dive muna in terms of what can potentially happen because we're all waiting, no? We're all waiting for this support line na humabol. Sana ikaw support line yung humabol. Huwag kang pasaway, ha? Huwag kang pasaway. Kasi pag bumaba yan, baka pwedeng mabutas yan pababa. Okay, so mag-iingat tayo. And of course, bilang isang trader, because marami tayong aabangan next week, particularly on the March 15 and 16 declaration of the new rate hikes, yung market, nakita ko nagsiselling mode na sila, no? Simply because the market would like to be risk averse, ika nga, no? They wanted to become risk averse, no, of the situation, no? Kasi pwedeng bumaba pa lalo yung merkado. Pero to be honest with you, bababa to pero tingin ko hindi aabutin ng 30. It would never, the 30,000 is what I call the Michael Saylor support area. Kasi dyan siya bumili ng almost malaking presyo ng Bitcoin. I think hindi pwedeng bumaba doon, otherwise babangkarote yan si Saylor, no? So I think yung kagandahan nun, meron tayong whale that is actually holding that support line for all of us. So FYI ha, meron tayong tinatawag na Saylor support area, no, or SSA. Kasi dyan bumili si MicroStrategy around 29 to 30,000 USDT nung ang Bitcoin was on that price way back June and July of last year. Alright. So I think that can potentially hold kung magvo-volatility move man it can potentially bounce. But still, mag-antay po tayo ng ating right support line. And of course, isabihin ko lang po lahat sa inyo that, you know guys, at the end of I will end my conversation with this post. Maganda tong post na to eh. Maraming na inspire dito, no. Kayo mga nanonood today, around 300 team members today. I wanna leave this to all of you. Alam mo, sometimes tayo mga traders, ang nakikita kasi natin yung port snapping, no? We see the good things, we see the benefits. Nakita natin yung magagandang mga bagay, right? But what we don't see on all of that post is persistence, failure, sacrifice, good habits, hard work, dedication. We only see the tip of the iceberg. Sometimes when we look at someone, uy, ang galing. And hindi lang ako yan. Sometimes you see on your friends, on your peers, on the other traders na, oh, galing mo na. But what you don't see there, guys, is someone that's actually, you know, building good habits, hard work, dedication, etc., etc., no, as a product, no, as the reason why the person is successful. Ang sarap sabihin. Ang sarap sabihin na, uy, pagising ka pa lang, kota na ako. Oy, you can earn your monthly income in an hour. Pero hindi mo ba alam na that is because of 7 years of building discipline in trading. Hindi 1 day, 1 month, 1 year, 1 week, hindi. It builds a lot of dedication and maturity in the market for you to become very, very, very successful. Okay? So tandaan mo yan. Sometimes we overestimate what success is for all of us. Or sometimes we overthink, magaling naman yan talaga eh. But what you don't see is inside, sobrang porsigido, talagang ikaw ay, you know, talagang mag-aaral. Akala mo ito nakikita mo, oy, magaling talaga yan mag-trade. Kumikita na ng 82,000, i-withdraw niya yan. Yun ang nakikita natin. But inside, hindi lang ako, marami pa dyan, maraming pinoprocess yan. So you need to appreciate them for the reasons why they are successful. When you see someone that's very successful, ang itanong ninyo, why? Ano yung ginagawa mo differently? Ano yung routine mo? What is your daily habit? Because sometimes, pare-parehas naman tayo ng charting, but yung mindset kasi niya mas malinaw. Mas nakikita niya, alas 4 ng umaga, may paparating na papalo na good news, inaabangan. Diba? So I hope that I was able to a little bit inspire you on that particular discussion. Because it can be done. Okay? Alright. So with that said, maraming salamat ka, Miranda. Maraming salamat to all of you. Greetings to all of the viewers that I have today. Shane, Alner, Jasper, Mac Peña. Uy, Charlene, 4 months ka na pala. Congratulations. My pretty hot mama. Oh, wow. Jasper, Eds, Jonas, Loklok, Movidi, Epion, Eds, Shane Layton. Thank you. Dings, Zel, Clarence. Uy, Clarence, kamusta? Shane, JNFTs, Carl. Okay, ano to? Spitfire MK4 Gaming. And to all of you who are watching today. Alright, sige na. Saturday night, enjoy the rest of your night. I will see you tomorrow. Maghandaan mo, manood kayo bukas. Maganda yung topic ko. Pag-uusapan natin yung mga preparations na kailangan natin gawin on the upcoming week. And I hope you all a great Saturday night ahead of you. I hope again, thank you again to Dexio Protocol for being our guest for today. Thank you again for all of you. And of course to Roxy, thank you to you Roxy. Salamat. Nakita ko si May. Thank you May for being here. Milka, Josephine, and to the Dexio team, maraming salamat sa support and God bless all of us. And thank you again sa mga graduates daw kanina. Thank you Enas Mulato. Yan. Kanina sa beginner class, maraming salamat din. Alright, to all the batch 27, ang haba ng araw nyo. And 28 as well, maraming salamat. And see you, the intermediate students, next week. Live pa din ang ating course. If you are new to my channel, please don't forget to visit me in www.globalmirandaminor.com and look at our courses na in-offer po natin for beginner students like you. Alright, I love you 3,000 ka Miranda, and ingat po, and God bless you, and I love you 3,000. Thanks everyone! Miranda Minor, and I have a latest announcement for you. Alam mo ba, we have a new partner in GMMG OPC, which is what they call themselves PDAX, or Philippine Digital Asset Exchange. And alam mo ba, because they are our latest partner, meron kaming pa-prize and raffle para sa inyo. Unang-una, just visit www.pdax.ph and create an account. Magagawa mo ng account, please redeem your code and use the word Coach Miranda para manalo ka ng 50 pesos to be credited in your account in a couple of days. Pagkatapos nito, if you want to earn and more prizes, then what you just need to do is after my live every day, mag-comment ka lang doon sa actual YouTube video na naka-upload na, hindi itong video natin ngayon, okay? And what you have learned, sulat mo lang doon with the hashtag PDAX Empowered Pinoy. Ganun lang kadali. Oo. And of course, winners gonna be announced the next day. And yun lang. Voila! You will already have your 500 pesos in your PDAX account. O saan ka pa? Sige na, and by the way ha, maraming magandang news sa PDAX. I think the last one na sinabi ko during my live, they actually just got a $50 million funding from Tiger Capital. And congratulations to all of the founders and leaders of PDAX. So with that said, maraming salamat kay Miranda. And I love you 3,000. Hashtag PDAX Empowered Pinoy.
I've been dreaming on in my head like I've seen it. A life worth living is a life with meaning. I'll do what I love till my heart stops beating. I'm feeding this demon.